All right, next we're going to look at an actual physical model of how a landform is created. If you were here in fifth grade and you had Miss Stelling for science, this might look really familiar, as I know she did almost the same exact model in a fifth grade lesson. So what you're going to be doing as you watch this model is looking for quite a few things during the model so that you can answer them after. There's actually going to be 4 separate slides that you're going to go through and make some observations and answer some questions that have to do with the model. If you need to go back and rewatch the model again, that is completely fine. As long as you've been putting in your answers, it should save your work as you go back and forth. So one thing we're looking for first is just observations. How would you describe what you see forming? For this part of your observations and for this part of your slides after the model, you don't need complete sentences. Just listing some words about what you see could be fine. So you should be describing the actual landform that you see. The next part is a claim, evidence, reasoning, question, meaning you should be writing in complete sentences for this, and you should be using that format of claim and then evidence and then reasoning that we practiced last week. Based on the model, do you think landforms will remain once the water stops flowing? So we're talking about the model in this case, but do we think that in real life, that based on what we see in the model, landforms will stay the same even if that stream that formed them stops flowing? Then be prepared to actually draw a diagram. One of the best ways that scientists share their observations is by actually drawing them out or getting a picture of those observations. So you're going to actually draw a diagram of what you see happening in the model yourself. And then finally, our claim, evidence, reasoning of what landform did you observe forming in the model. You're going to look really closely at your model, think about what you know about landforms that are formed on Earth, and see if you can figure out what is actually being created in that model. So what I'm going to do now is actually play the model right here. This is another KIPP teacher doing the model on a video, and she's going to give you a little bit of background about why she's doing this model and then go ahead and show that model for you.
Welcome, scientists. Today we are going to further answer the question, what could have caused this channel on Mars to form? So this is a landform that we obviously can't get to because we live on Earth. So we're going to use a model to try to figure out if flowing water could have made a channel like this. Models are really great when things are difficult to observe in real life. So we're going to use a very simple flowing stream model to figure out if we can create a channel just like this. In our model, we have sand, which represents the surface of the Earth, or the geosphere, and we have water, which represents our hydrosphere. We're going to try to get this water to flow to see if we can create a channel. So let's get started. So as you can see, water is starting to carve through the geosphere, and it's making what I would say looks like a channel. I'm going to let this run for about a minute until the water stops flowing. Now I want you to think, once the water stops flowing, will this landform remain? I want you to go ahead and answer that question on your worksheet and make 3 to 5 observations about what you noticed. Take a good look at this photo this experiment, because you're also going to have to draw it on your worksheet. Please tune in to part 2 to learn more about this experiment.